Imagine this. You're a wealthy, powerful civilization, running an international trade empire from your rock-carved luxury desert capital Petra. You've got incense from Arabia, silk from China, spices from India. You're basically the Amazon Prime of the ancient world, but with camels instead of delivery trucks. Then one day, the Romans show up and say, "Nice city. We'll take it from here." And just like that, in 106 CE, the mighty Nabatean kingdom becomes a Roman province. Petra, still standing. The Nabateans? Well, they just vanish. Poof, gone. No great battle, no heroic last stand, just a quiet fade out from history. Where did they go? Did they get regular jobs in Rome? Did they all become extreme desert survivalists? Or hear me out, did they just pull off the greatest Irish goodbye in history and move somewhere else? Well, buckle up, because today we're solving the mystery of the Nabatean disappearance. Before Rome showed up with its bureaucrats and sandals, the Nabateans were the kings of the desert hustle. Their control over trade routes made them obscenely rich. We're talking Gucci-level wealth. But make it ancient. Petra wasn't just a city. It was a power move, carved into the cliffs, flexing on every merchant passing through. They had advanced water technology, built secret reservoirs, and turned the desert into a 5-star oasis. And thanks to their ability to ghost the strongest empires, seriously, they avoided getting conquered by the Greeks and early Romans for centuries. They were thriving. Then Emperor Trajan rolls in, and he does what Romans do best: he annexes things. The Nabatean king, Rabble II, dies mysteriously in 106 CE. Suspicious timing, right? And instead of a messy war, Rome just takes over Petra. Now, normally, when the Romans conquer a place, they throw a giant, over-the-top party called a triumph, showing off their defeated enemies in chains. But with Petra, nothing. No grand victory parade, no resistance, no scorched earth last stand. It was like the Nabateans just said, "Oh, you want Petra? Cool, we were getting tired of it anyway." One theory is that the Nabateans just became Romans, like that one friend who visits Europe once and comes back drinking espresso and saying, "Ciao." Rome did make Petra the capital of Provincia Arabia, and Nabateans started wearing togas, speaking Latin, and enjoying Roman baths, because what's imperialism without forced spa days? Their famous trade routes kept running, but now with Roman soldiers doing security. So maybe they didn't disappear, maybe they just got a corporate rebrand. But here's the problem: the Nabatean language fades out. Their script, their inscriptions, everything goes silent within a century. They go from economic powerhouses to historical footnotes. Did they really just accept Roman rule and call it a day? Or did they pack up and leave? Now this is where things get spicy. Some historians believe they weren't about that Roman tax life, so they did what they did best: disappeared into the desert. Think about it. For centuries, they had been desert survival experts. They knew every secret oasis, every hidden pass. You could say they had the ultimate Find My Camel app in their heads. And who was going to chase them? The Romans? The same people who struggled with Scotland and kept getting owned by Parthians? The desert was not Roman-friendly. So if the Nabateans went off-grid, they were basically ancient doomsday preppers who actually succeeded. Evidence? Some scholars believe that the modern Bedouin tribes of Jordan and Arabia could be descendants of the Nabateans. They lived in the same areas, spoke Arabic, which could have evolved from Nabatean Aramaic, and kept some of the old desert trade routes alive. So maybe they didn't vanish, they just switched to stealth mode. Here's a wild theory. Some Nabateans moved east and became part of the Persian and Arab trade networks. We know that Nabatean-style buildings appear in the city of Hatra, modern-day Iraq, which was not under Roman control. These guys might have just skipped the Roman drama and joined a new empire where they could keep doing what they did best, making money. Even crazier, some historians argue that the early Arab kingdoms were heavily influenced by Nabateans. The Arabic script might have evolved from Nabatean writing. The idea of desert-based commerce? Classic Nabatean move. So instead of being lost, they might have helped shape the Arab world. So here's the million denarius question. Did the Nabateans really disappear? Or did they just outplay history? Were they swallowed by Rome, absorbed into the Bedouins? Or did they just switch locations and keep thriving? Or, and hear me out, did they fake their own disappearance just to mess with future historians? Because honestly, that would be the ultimate power move. What do you think? Drop your theories in the comments. And if you enjoyed this history mystery, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because who knows, maybe you have Nabatean ancestors and we just solved your ancient family tree. In the end, the Nabateans didn't leave behind dramatic ruins like the Mayans or terrifying war stories like the Spartans. Instead, they did what they had always done. Best, they adapted. They didn't need a last stand. They didn't need a grand rebellion. They simply moved on before Rome could completely erase them. And in a way, isn't that the most Nabatean thing ever? The Romans took their city, but the Nabateans, they took their legacy with them. Maybe they're not lost at all. Maybe we just haven't been looking in the right places. Stay curious. Stay skeptical. And remember, history's greatest mysteries aren't just about what happened, but what might still be hidden. If you loved this episode, you're going to lose your mind over our next mystery. What really happened to the Sea Peoples? Were they history's first pirate syndicate? Or just really angry tourists? Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you have a historical mystery you want us to solve, let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay historical, stay hilarious.